Nel nome di Dio. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. I am very, very happy to see that what we started with our Focolare brothers and sisters about 22 years ago is bearing different fruits in different parts of the world. And I am also very grateful to Father Innocent for coming all the way from Nairobi to Mariapolis Centre. It really is additional joy for me to see him. And from the first time we met him, I found him a very good brother, someone with whom you can build lots of things together, inshallah. So, very happy to see you, and please also take our warm greetings to our brothers in Tangaza. I am very happy to see all the friends and brothers and sisters in Mariapolis Centre, and I hope these days and nights that our brothers from Com were there would be a great experience to understand better the will of God for our collaboration in future. And I'm also very happy to see my brothers from Com, Sayyid Muhaddis, Sheikh Khuddami, and all brothers from the seminaries of Com, and I offer my salutations to them.
Thank you.
What I would like to share with you is just few reflections. In our theology, we certainly give a central position to God. In our spirituality also we give central position to God. But I think little by little, over centuries, we have been carried away from centrality of God. And in practice, God is not always necessarily the center of our attention and the center of our relations and the center of our values and priorities. I cannot go into details right now, but I just want to mention something, and that is about the significance of the fact that we share love for God. We share devotion to the same God, God of Abraham. This is very, very important. Unfortunately, whenever we talk about commonalities or differences, we just count different doctrines and practices that we share in one list, and those things that we differ in another list, and we count them. I have seen in many books and many lectures, even people who are very positive and pro-dialogue, they just list commonalities and differences and compare them. For example, we say Muslims and Christians share the same God. This is one point. They share history of prophecy from Adam up to Moses and Jesus, but they differ over Jesus about whether Jesus was a prophet or Jesus was Son of God. But prophethood before that they share. Prayer they share, but the style is different. So they try to list. So what is, I think, wrong is that when it comes to faith in God, they just consider it as one in many. They numerically count these things. But in my understanding, if we really devote ourselves to God, and if our theology is going to be centered around faith in God, when someone shares with me faith in God, I cannot say he shares only one doctrine with me, or only one major doctrine with me. I can say he shares with me the principle of the principles, the mother doctrine. About 2 weeks ago, I was in Rome and I was invited to speak on behalf of Iranian ambassador in a meeting with the Asian ambassadors. And I said, if I share with someone God, and someone thinks that there is something greater than I could share, he's wrong. Is there anything greater than God that we can share? Is there anything next to God that we can share? Anything comes under God. Yes, maybe we have differences in understanding God. Maybe we have differences in the way we show our gratitude to God. We pray. But all comes under our faith in God. So if I see there is a brother in God or a sister in God who has devoted himself or herself to God, and there is a person from my own family or my own country who shares with me the same faith but has not devoted himself to God, which one is closer to me? If I think the one who just speaks my language, who shares some doctrines in theory but doesn't really put them in the practice, if I think he shares more with me than someone who has devoted himself to God, then I think this is a big misunderstanding. In any way, thanks to God, through our intimate, close, and long-established relation with some Christian brothers and sisters in the UK and other countries, and in particular with Focolare brothers and sisters, and then through them with other branches, like with the Benedictine brothers and sisters, we came to this clear understanding that you can find among Christian brothers and sisters today, not just in the past, not just in the time that the Quran praises the Christians for being humble and truth-seeking and sympathetic and having love in their heart. No, even today we can find many Christian brothers and sisters that they have devoted themselves to God. And when I personally, I am not talking on behalf of other Muslims, I am talking about myself, but when as a little Muslim, I look at their love for God, I feel I have to learn, I have to envy them, and I feel I am nothing. Of course, we have many Muslim great personalities, we have many Muslims who have devoted themselves to God. I am talking about myself. I feel there are Christians who are much better than me. Also, I see there are Sunni Muslims who are much better than me. Because to have doctrines, theories is something. To have love for God, devotion is another thing. They are supposed to come together, but many times, unfortunately, they don't come together. What I cannot deny is that over more than 20 years of relation, with our Christian brothers and sisters like Focolare movement in different countries, in different capacities, I have always found the same spirit. And this is amazing. I was not naive to quickly accept. I kept my eyes open. I observed what they do, but I also kept my heart open. Because if you only keep your eyes open, then you become suspicious. But you have to keep your eyes and heart open so that you are not deceived, but at the same time you don't miss beauties that God has planted in other places. So we have now reached a point that we have maximum trust. We have maximum love for each other. And we think no longer we can describe this relation as dialogue. Dialogue is too little. Sometimes I use this example. I say, a man and woman, after few examination, they think they might suit each other and they want to marry. They have some discussions about expectations of life, what they want to do. This is dialogue. But if this dialogue leads to marriage, then you can no longer say the relation between husband and wife is dialogue. Why are you marrying? Because we want to have dialogue. No, dialogue is for before marriage. Unity is after dialogue. We don't want just to have dialogue now. We have gone beyond dialogue. We have now unity. Unity in God. So therefore, what we want to do is, instead of me having dialogue with a Christian brother or sister, we want to listen together to God. We silence our voice, create a space in our hearts, and invite God to be present among us and to tell us what He wants from us. So I said this in Monte. Maybe Carlo can show you the clip for Monte.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow.
Yes. So I said, now what we do is we listen together to God. God sometimes speaks to two ears. There are things that Muslims have heard, there are things that Christians have heard. But sometimes God speaks to one ear. In order to make sure that we don't miss anything, we listen with two ears to God. So the idea of Wings of Unity is that some of us, Muslims and Christians, sit together, discuss together, think together, but it is only to invite God to inspire us. He can inspire Muslim side or Christian side. We don't say, God, please inspire me first, and then I will tell the others. We say, God, please inspire us through any mind, any mouth, any tongue, one of us or even outside us. We humbly just seek guidance from God, because humanity today needs a special guidance from God. We are not able to face all the challenges today just with what we have already received in our traditions. We need wisdom. We need guidance from God. And we need God to show us how can we build universal fraternity. So if we are humble enough to acknowledge that we need each other, and then with our unity, we call God to guide us, I am sure God is not going to let us down. So I am very happy and grateful that God has put himself in the middle of our relation, in the center of our unity. And I just pray to God to help us to go together. We have come from different points, but have met now each other. From this point on, we can only go together. If we have started in different places, different traditions, we now have to go together. We keep our identities clear. We are Muslims, we are Christians, we are Sunni, Shia, Catholics, non-Catholics. Those are there and are very important, and we have to keep our identities clear. But all at the service of God, all at the service of unity that reflects unity of God. So I hope we can work together, and I see already beautiful signs and fruits of this relation. I would like to thank again Father Innocent and the whole Tangaza University for welcoming the idea of unity of God and unity in God. They said they are going to have every year a conference, a course. Thanks to God, we had a course last year, we had a course this year. We are going to have a conference, and it has actually gone beyond our expectations, thanks to God. He visited Com, but we are going to do lots of things together. And I am especially happy that now we have our Mariapolis Centre and our Focolare community in Kenya and all over the world, part of this beautiful relation. And I personally think Africa is a very important place for future of faith. If Father Innocent remembers, when I had a Skype from London for them, I said, maybe now it is time that Africa reminds the West of faith, of the Bible. Because now faith is unfortunately not that much prominent in the West. And now it's the historical role that Africa has to play, to be a witness, a strong witness for beauty of faith. And I believe that there is a witness that we together can offer. Our unity is very important aspect of the witness that we can give today to the world. In the world that some people want to use us against each other and wants to say religion is a source of conflict and tension, we want to give a joint testimony to the world that indeed faith only brings good, only brings love, only brings solidarity. And you can look at us, how much our faith has created love and trust among us. And we want to offer this testimony together to all people of the world. Thank you very much, and may God the Almighty be always with you and support you, and please remember us your prayers. Thank you.
So thank you very much. It has been a very